Hey folks, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Mordecai the Hunter, and I'm here to help you shoot better at cowboy action. And today I'm going to do that by going over footage from Comin At Ya 2023, hosted by T-Bone Dooley at the Bar 3. One of the things I really like about this event is that you can shoot more than one category. And since I'm old enough to qualify for two open age categories, I thought it'd be fun to shoot each stage twice and see how the scores came out. But what really struck me while I was looking at the video is how small things can affect your stage times. So today, I'm not going to read the instructions, and we're only going to be looking at the third person video. And the focus is going to be on the differences or similarities between each run to give you an idea of how much time a mistake can cost you. Or me at least. We'll figure it out as we go along. By the way, if you like what you see right now, this is from the shoot and scoot side match, where basically you run down the firing line shooting whatever you find. The volunteers purposefully stage the guns to mess with the participants and then make fun of them as they work their way down the firing line. It's quite a spectacle, and certainly an experience. If you've never done it before, bring 100 rounds of Smokeless 38 Special and some thick skin. You won't regret it, I promise. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Here's what you missed on the range. Okay, just so we don't get confused, I'm going to have the Cowboy stages on the left and the Wrangler stages on the right for the rest of the video. The 4 Wrangler stages were shot first, and then 4 Cowboy stages on the next wave. So, day 1 started at stage 5 with T-Bone's famous chicken targets, which are notoriously easy to miss, being that they aren't very large to begin with, and have an unusual shape. I got through the shotgun targets at about the same speed, but you can see the pace change when I start engaging the rifle targets. On the right side, I was super careful to aim at each target, and on the left, I tried picking up the pace a little. Unfortunately, that speed came at the cost of missing 2 targets, so right off the bat here, we can confirm the whole can't miss fast enough theory. The 4 seconds I gained in raw time was not enough to offset the 10 seconds in penalties for not being more careful. Okay, so stage 6 we have 2 separate single tap sweeps. The pistol work on the right screen is noticeably faster than the left, so you'd think that this would be the clear winner, but then I have a hitch in the rifle and lose the advantage, so this is probably a good example of smooth as fast. It also highlights the way that small things can give you an edge or drag you down. I might have been a second faster if I was able to combine the positives from both runs. Stage 7, we have our first set of knockdowns for both rifle and pistols, so 5 on top and 5 on bottom. For these stages, any targets that are not knocked over can be made up on a shotgun target at the end. There's a real temptation to just blast through these targets because for a double barrel shotgun, you can miss up to 2 and it'll cost you about 4 seconds depending on your load speed. And that's basically what happened. I took a risk with my pistols on the right side after feeling pretty good about the last stage, and it cost me about 4 seconds. So again, I guess you just can't miss fast enough. Even though it felt painfully slow, my cowboy run was within 2 seconds of the fastest time, so that made me feel better. Okay, so stage 8 we get to see some poor equipment choices finally catch up to me. I set the hammer spring super light on my rifle to make it easier to lever the action, but how fast you can work the action doesn't matter when the bullets don't go bang. I was lucky that most of these targets were single taps, and I was able to just pull the hammer back and let it hit the round again for it to go off. Even though it felt like a train wreck, it only cost me about 3 seconds on my final time, so bonus lesson, don't give up in the middle of a stage even if it feels like it's falling apart. You can still have a competitive time if you minimize the time it takes to correct your mistakes. Okay, so day 2 we're looking at stages 9 through 12, and I started in the morning with the Cowboy Posse and then shot Wrangler later in the afternoon. Stage 9 was at the Alamo, where we have another course of fire that is all knockdowns. I started out strong on the cowboy run with my rifle, but to be completely fair, it was pouring rain for the Wrangler run. I did learn that I can shoot in the rain without melting, though I was super jealous of the folks with oilskin dusters. I can't say it was a pleasant experience, but I guess now I can say I'm tougher or dumber than the folks that didn't want to shoot in bad weather. I definitely didn't enjoy cleaning all the rust off my guns when I got home. Anyway, shooting in the rain did make me more conscious of aiming at the targets, and I actually had a faster stage, so I guess it was good for focus. Stage 10, the weather was a little better, but I was already wet from the last stage on the Wrangler run, so it was less of a factor here. In the right video, I have a slight hitch in the rifle when starting the second sweep, and then after I put it down, I had a moment where I thought I was supposed to take it with me, so I made it to the pistol position about a half a second or so behind the cowboy run. But I was able to make up the difference shooting the pistol targets, and then the shotgun was about the same on both. So here's another stage where the final time was basically the same, but you can see where small things on both sides gained and lost advantage. Stage 11 was pretty cool. There are 4 doorways with 2 targets in each doorway, and they have to be down before you can move, so footwork and accuracy are both super important here. I tried to stay in the middle of the hall on the right video rather than running up into the doorways, but it doesn't look like it saved me any time. The shucking and reloading process gave me plenty of cover to take a few steps, so trying to stay centered probably wasn't worth it. For this pistol rack, the plates fall slowly, so you can either dump on the first plate and then aim with the second pistol, or aim first and dump second, which, after watching this, looks like a faster way to do it. Alrighty, so we had good weather for both runs of stage 12, but you might have noticed that the door is missing from the right video, which was broken off when the weather hit, so I'm not sure if it's much of an advantage, but I'll take it as a consolation for shooting in the rain. The pistol work is a little faster in the left video, but I have left 2 targets standing, so I'll need to make those up on the shotgun. Rifle was about the same speed on both runs, so that's good, and I feel like the shotguns were both pretty consistent as well. So here again, I took some risk trying to speed up, but it ended up costing me more time than saving, so at least this time it was only about 2 seconds. Finally, day 3. Crazy weather, wonky patterns, and knockdown stages finally behind us. Today we are shooting stages 1 through 4, which are more like the modern stages we're used to and should be fast. Okay, so if you were wondering how I managed to go almost an entire match without jacking around out of my rifle, fear not. I was so excited to go fast that I threw one out on the first stage in the Wrangler wave. To be completely fair, I was on fire with the rifle in the left video, but you might notice that I slowed down a little with the pistol and shotgun. I think the lesson here is that you need to be smooth and focused on each firearm as you work through the stage. The reload itself was okay, but the hitch and then finding my rhythm again was a big hit, and the whole thing cost me about 3¼ seconds. Okay, so I had some camera trouble on the Wrangler wave, but this was the last stage of the day for Cowboy, and I ended up reshooting it. The left video was the first attempt, and I was just a hair faster than the second run, but I also had a miss on the rifle targets, which is why I ended up reshooting it. The second attempt on the right is where I took that agonizing extra moment to aim, and the overall time was still pretty fast. Stage 3, you can really tell that the left video was shot first and the right video was shot second. The rifle is a little faster, but I'm also much more confident while staging the rifle and shotgun in the wall box. Now, I've done this before, but this isn't my home club, and it's been a while, so I was a little nervous on the first run. I'd rather take the extra second to be careful than drop a gun and be disqualified. Overall, my hesitation cost me about 1.5 seconds, but I feel like that's a pretty good insurance policy if I only had one shot. Okay, so stage 4, the targets are big, and I really want to focus on being smooth. I wasn't as successful with that on the first run, and you can see the rifle hitch on the right video that slowed me down. The left video is smooth as glass, and you can see how it slowly creeps ahead of the other run. To be fair, that's probably because I'd run it earlier, but again, this is how little things add up. Okay, so in case you weren't doing the math as we were going along, my final times were about 5 seconds apart. So you can see how a second here or a half second there can really add up over 12 stages. And I had great and not so great times on both sides, so don't give up if one stage just doesn't go your way. Alright folks, I think that's all for today. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video or would have done something different. I like to think everything I have to say is interesting, but I'm also my biggest fan, so feedback is appreciated. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you all on the range.